Okay, students of English Education Study Program, good afternoon. See you again with my Meka's channels today with the material of reading comprehension. For our topic today, we are going to discuss about how to recognize the patterns of organization in a paragraph. Okay, before we start to know about how to recognize the patterns of organization in paragraphs, we will know first about the purposes of our learning. The purposes of our learning today is one, you can identify the 13 common patterns of organizations. And then secondly, you can decide what the essential to note on those 13 patterns. And then the third, you can match the patterns, the 13 patterns, with the paragraph example. Okay, students, we will organize one by one about the pattern of organization. But we will know about the pattern of organization itself. What is that? The pattern of organization shows the relationship between supporting details in a paragraph, essays, and chapters. And the organization of the supporting details helps you understand how an author thinks and helps you remember what you read. And then while the table below explains the characteristic of the patterns, Rebecca here will give you 13 patterns, includes the characteristic, the signal. It means here the signal, almost the same with the transition words that we studied before, that we studied last week. And then the last, Rebecca delivers, provide the sample, or the example of the paragraph. Just a short paragraph is the example of each pattern. Okay, we come to the first pattern of a paragraph, or the pattern of organization. Number one is cause and effect. The second, classification. The third, list of items. The fourth, chronological. The fifth, process patterns. The seventh, comparison and contrast pattern. And then the eighth, order of importance pattern. And then problem and solution. And then spatial order, definition and example pattern, summary and generalization and example pattern, and the last will be description pattern. Now you will know one by one about the characteristic of each paragraph, the signals, and the example of a text or a paragraph. Okay, one is for cause and effect patterns of organization. The characteristic of this pattern describes or discusses an event or action that is caused by another event or action. There may be a single cause, an event, or several causes with several effects. Okay, the pattern here will answer the WH question why and what. The characteristic will answer, for example, the question why did this happen? And the second question, what were the results of the particular event? Okay, this is about the two questions that are familiar as the characteristic of this pattern. Okay, and then we come to the signal of this pattern. The signal, for example, the signal for causes like because, causes, creates, due to, for this reason, if this, leads to, and then on account of, produces, since, and this. And then the signal for the effect, for example, like as a result, and then consequently, hence, in effect, resulting, since, therefore, and thus. Okay, I give you the examples for the text here. Look at the text as the example of the cause and effect pattern of organization. Okay, there are two texts here. The first is by using causes, and then the second is by using effect signal. Okay, take a look at the example. Yeah. Okay, now we come to the second pattern of organization, that is classification. On this classification pattern, the characteristic also called a division or categorization pattern. This pattern divides a topic into parts or groups and separately discusses each. And this pattern will answer such as the following questions. The first question is, how do the parts work with the whole? And then the second question, what characteristics classify the concept or a subject? Okay, this is about the questions. And then the signals now. The signals words that used on this classification pattern, such as categories, classified as, classes, classification, comprises, composed of, different stages of division, elements, features, groups, includes, kind, types, varieties, and ways. Okay, and now we come to the example. Yeah, take a look at the example. I delete first two tags here, and then I give underline as the signal. Yeah, so this kind of tag or this kind of paragraph as the classification pattern of organization. Okay, read the example. And then we come to the third pattern of organization. The third pattern here is a list of items. The list of items pattern has a characteristic with the same or the similar names as a listing pattern, series pattern, addition pattern, and enumeration pattern. This pattern here has got a series of items, facts, reasons, and examples. The features or the characteristics that support the main idea is listed in whatever order the author prefers. The answers here, the answers for this reading or this pattern will be answered the following question. The question is, what examples support the main idea? Okay, you need to answer by this question, what examples, yeah? And then the signals of this pattern of organization will be like also, and, another, a number of, as well as, to, beside, first, for example, and etc. You may read it by yourself. And then the example now. The example of a text or a paragraph which is in list of items pattern of organization. Okay, there are two paragraphs, there are two pages here, yeah, and then there is an underline on the signal, yeah. On the above will be a number of, and then the second will be several. So in this paragraph, you answers what examples support the main idea. Okay, and now we come to the fourth. The fourth, patterns of organization, that is chronological. The chronological pattern here, also called time order, narration, or sequence of events. This is the other names of the chronological pattern of organization. These patterns, give detailed support the main idea as a list of events told in the order that they happened. And the answer for this pattern, the answer will be from the following question. The first question is, when did it happen? So you need to answer this question. And then the second question, in what order did it happen? Okay, there are two questions that you should answer by the chronological pattern. So the paragraph will have got the signals, such as the following signals, afterward, up to, until, when. Okay, so you can read it by yourself as the full text. And then this is the example. The example will be paragraph 2, with the first is the signal at the different times, and then the second paragraph signal is then. Okay, so the two paragraphs here will answer when did it happen and in what order did it happen questions. Okay, we come to the next paragraph, or patterns of organization will be process pattern. On the process pattern, give a detailed support the main idea as a list of steps, direction, or a sequence of stages in which a certain order is needed. The steps, stages lead up to final product or finished project. And then to this paragraph, will answer two following questions. The first is how. Oh, there are three questions, there are three questions that you should answer with the pattern of organization with process pattern. The first question is how, and then the second question, in what sequence or order, and then the third question, what are the steps or the process. Okay, there are three questions here that you should answer, and then we are going to use some signals here, like accordingly, after that, begins, up to finally. This is about the signal. And then there are two paragraphs as an example here. The first example by using the signal of stage, and then the second by using the signal of steps. Okay, so the two paragraphs here answer three questions before, of how, in what sequence, and what are the steps of the process. Okay, this one. And then next, to the next pattern, that is comparison and contrast pattern of organization. On this comparison and contrast pattern, we have a different meaning about comparison and also contrast. Okay, and this pattern of organization organized to emphasize the similarities or differences between two or more items or the topics. Okay, and this pattern will answer two questions here. The first question is, how are the two items similar? And the second question, how are two items different? And then the meaning of comparison. Comparison means what things have in common, how items or concepts are alike, and the similarities between elements or ideas. And the meaning of contrast, that is the differences between items or concepts, and then how things are not alike, and distinction between elements or ideas. I think that I told you or I taught you last week about the differences between comparison and contrast. In this comparison and contrast pattern, also we have two kinds of signal. The signals of comparison and also the signals of contrast. Okay, you may read it by yourself about the signals of comparison, and this one is the signals of contrast. Okay, you may read it by yourself on this video so you can know about what are the signals for this pattern, because we have two different words, the comparison and the contrast. And let's take a look at the example of a paragraph. On the example of paragraph, Mamika also provides two examples here. The first example is the paragraph on comparison itself, and then the other paragraph is contrast paragraph. And then the two examples of both of them will be the combination paragraph, the comparison between comparison and contrast paragraph. Okay, you may take a look and read it. Okay, we come to the next pattern. That is about order of importance pattern. This pattern, also known as a chain of command or hierarchical, hierarchical pattern. This pattern gives details in a list, but the author indicates which items in the list are more important than others, either from the least important to the most important, or from the most to the least important. Okay, and this pattern will answer the two questions here. The first question is which point is the most or least important? The second question, which element is crucial? Okay, and then you can look at the signals for this pattern from central up to last. This is the signal of the word that can be used in a paragraph. And then there are two examples of paragraph here. You can take a look. The first is the signal will be most valued, and then the second signal is most important. Okay, the next pattern, that is about problem and solution pattern. On this problem and solution pattern, the text presents a significant problem and explain it in detail. Then a possible solution is suggested. Sometimes only the problem is presented because there is no solution. There are two questions should be answered here. So the answers will be from the question, what is the problem? And the second question, what is a possible solution? And take a look on the signals that we can use on the paragraph from answers up to suggest. Okay, and then I'll give you two examples of paragraph here. Okay, there is a solution signal, and the second signal is remedied. Okay, and now we come to the next pattern. We are going to go fast for this explanation. This is about spatial order organization. Okay, the spatial order organization here, also called order of location. The text describes physical location or position in space. It discusses a subject according to a specific pattern, such as top to bottom, near to far, room to room, inside to outside, or details support the main idea as a list that reveals where items are located. Okay, this pattern will answer the following question. There are two questions that should be answered with this paragraph, with this pattern. Where and in physical relation to what? Okay, this is about the two questions that you should answer. And then this is the signal. The signal word that you can use started from above up to recount. And then there are two examples of paragraph here. Yeah, the first paragraph has got two signal, one signal, but in what is it? There is one word here, yeah, as the other word, but this is come to phrase, yeah, two words away. Okay, two words away is a phrase, but this is a signal. And then the second paragraph signal, yeah, there is north here, and then down and southernmost. Okay, so there are two examples that you can read here about the spatial order pattern of organization. Okay, and then the next pattern, we come to definition example pattern. The definition and example pattern here is also called as a statement and clarification pattern. A word or a concept is introduced, then explained or described. An example of its usage then follows. This pattern will answer these following questions. What is it? Okay, this is the question. And then the signal words that we can use to arrange the paragraph will be like define as, yeah, up to E, yeah, this one, or EG. EG here, this is stands for the abbreviation from exempligraphia. Yeah, the exempligraphia, this is also from the Latin phrase exempligraphia, and then the meaning is for example. Okay, for IE the meaning is that is, and then for EG the meaning is for example or such as. Okay, because this is from Latin phrase. Yeah. Okay, and then we come to the example of a paragraph. Okay, there are two paragraphs example here. You may read it by yourself. Okay, try to comprehend and read it. And now we come to the next pattern, summary pattern. The summary patterns of organization here give detailed support to the main idea as a list of only the most important data from a larger amount of material. And this pattern will answer this question, what point was this easy making? And then this is the signal, yeah, the signals such as all, in brief, up to sum up. Okay, this is about the words or phrases to be the signal words. And then this is the example of a paragraph. You may try to read it, yeah, by using the signal overall and for this reason. Read it and try to comprehend. The next pattern is generalization and example pattern. Okay, in this pattern, also known as illustration pattern, generalization pattern, and principle or deductive pattern. Okay, this is about deductive order pattern. Yeah, the author gives a general statement or idea that is supported by one or more examples. In this pattern, look for a topic sentence that is supported by one or more examples. And then the generalization statement is not always the first sentence. Okay, this is about the meaning, yeah, of this pattern. And then look at the signal words. The signal words here such as, for example, up to illustration. And then look at this one for the two paragraphs given. I give you the two paragraphs here with the keyword or the signal for example, and the second paragraph also for example. Okay, next paragraph now. That is about description pattern of organization. The description pattern of organization here details explain the main idea by providing a mental picture of situation, object, or surroundings. Detail focus on sensory or physical data. And then this pattern will answer such as the following questions. What are its most important attributes or characteristics? This is the first question. The second question, what specific person, place, thing, or even describe? Okay, this is the second question. You need to answer when you are going to check the paragraph. You will find the answer to, you will find the text here or the paragraph will answer the following question, the two questions before. Okay, and then you can use these kinds of signal words. You may take a look on the uses words as a size, height, texture, color, thickness, length, feelings. For this kind of words, we can show the size, the shape, the texture, color, thickness, length, and feeling. Okay, these are the signal of the words from above up to under. And then there are two paragraphs example here. You may read it by yourself and try to comprehend. Is the paragraph answers the two questions before? Okay, this one, check again. Okay, students, this is about the 13 patterns of organization that I explained today, and then you may try to watch again step by step and then try to understand, read about what I show in this video, what I display in this video, and then after you know about 13th pattern of organization, and then also the definition, the signal words used, and also the example of the paragraph, Mameka will also show you about the combination of the patterns of organization. So actually, I give you the example, the two patterns become one. For example, like this, the combination between the cause effect plus the comparison and the contrast pattern. Actually, one paragraph is not always try to use one pattern, but sometimes combine together. Okay, now take a look at this combination pattern. This is the combination between two pattern, cause effect, and comparison and contrast pattern. Okay, take a look at the example. You may read it for a while and try to understand. And then this one, Mamika gave you the second example. The second example. And then you should guess here, you should guess what pattern here combined together in this paragraph. So you have to find what pattern and plus what pattern in this kind of paragraph. Then you try to answer on the comment of the video. What combination of pattern is it? Okay, so you should find and write down the answer on the comment of the video. Okay, students, this is the material I explained today about how to know the pattern of organization in reading text. There are 13 items, there are 13 patterns there, and then the last you have to guess about the combination pattern among the 13 patterns. That's all what I explained today. Thank you very much for your attention. And then, if you have any questions, you may ask on We Are Group class. Thank you so much and see you again on the next material. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.